After making films that were all about loving your brothers, loving your wife, loving your daughter, and loving your sister, director Shiva brings to us a film that is all about loving someone else's son. It's part Braveheart, part Apocalypto, part Stranger Things, and also a whole lot of Flintstones. It is extremely ambitious, it has moments of real wildness, and at least one Suriya that is earnest. But overall, it is a film that gives you the feeling that we've seen it all before. That was my basic review of Kanguva. Now watch out for spoilers as we discuss the film in a bit more detail. Now, Kanguva is not the kind of film you can go in without any expectations. It is Suriya's return to the big screen after almost 3 years, and is also a film that is set to get the widest release for any Tamil movie ever. But let's say you've kept your expectations to a minimum because of this director's previous film. Even then, you still need to be warned of the first half hour of Kanguva. It is set in present time Goa, and it has something to do with Francis and his gang of bounty hunters who make money capturing criminals even when the police can't get to them. Shiva wants to make this portion look cool and hip, like a young filmmaker thought of it. He must have gone to his assistants and asked them to make this part look like GTA or something. But instead of taking their inputs, he has instead relied on the most boomer instincts to show us how youngsters behave today. So we get casual dialogues that weave in phrases like bestie, dude, mate, darling, because that's how we talk. We also get memes and trolls to underline jokes because otherwise you wouldn't get it. You also get a song that is about the most boomer phrase ever, YOLO. The look in these portions are tacky, and the 3D money shots, including ice cubes and bullets being thrown at you, are even tackier, as we are forced to wait patiently until we get to the period portions. We finally do, and we're taken 1000 years back to a place called Anjathivu, a group of 5 islands, each with its own clan of people with their own occupations and lifestyles, like we saw in the recently released Devara. This is where we meet Kanguvan, who belongs to the Perumachi Island, the warrior clan. With this character, the film becomes a lot more serious and intense. It really comes alive here, especially when we get to the world building. This is also where you realize that the film works along the lines of a reincarnation drama. The irony, given that you've just seen a song called YOLO. With a gap of 1000 years, we get 2 timelines but unified by one major unfulfilled promise. On paper, or probably in Shiva's head, this sounded like a great setting to be able to force a family angle into it. So after making films about every member in your family and your neighbor, here he makes a movie about the hero's love for an adopted son. Not that there's anything wrong in wanting to make a movie about a modern Stone Age family. But this thinking doesn't go too far. Instead of a smooth flow between situations and characters, we get giant factions of plot that never really merge into the larger picture. So while the film is meant to show us the bond between a father and son, we also get a giant crocodile fight in the water. Take the other example of a fight sequence involving a group of women. Until then, the film is not given 2 meaningful minutes to female characters. But when we get to this portion, we're suddenly sold a feminist message, like we're expected to cheer for what feels like Bigil, but in Barbaria. It's all the same for portions after this too. A huge sequence planned in the forest could have been mind-blowing if the action sequences actually did something with the setting. Without any of that, we think of what it could have been, not what it is. That's pretty much what you feel for most of the film. Not one single character feels fleshed out. This is funny because every character comes with an entire paragraph of information about who they are, who their forefathers were, and even their PAN card details. But we still end up knowing nothing about them. Visual ideas like the color of red for the entire villain clan, or the blues or greens for Kanguva's island, all of this never really creates anything more than a very basic level of appeal. The same goes with DSP's songs too, with the background score working much better than the generic songs and situations. There's not much more one can add about Kanguva. You can see the money spent and the effort that has gone in, but I wish the writing was as ambitious as everything else. That's it for my review of Kanguva. If you like this review, please hit like and subscribe to the Hollywood Reporter India.